The first question is, what is the primary defining feature of business cycles? Well, the defining feature is that the business cycles are represented by fluctuations about trend in real GDP. And this chapter we saw a graphic with two axes comparing time and real GDP. Also have two elements. The one is a straight line called trend and other line with some curves. These two elements create some peaks and troughs that represent some booms and recessions that are like the highest level of the GDP or the lowest level in a certain period of time. The second question is, besides persistence, what are three important features of the deviation from trend in GDP? Well, as I mentioned, we saw in this chapter a graphic of business cycles, and actually we saw two graphics. One is the analyzed business cycle that is really regular and very clear, comparing the amplitude and the frequency of a business cycle. But in a real business cycle is really not opposite, but it's really different. It's not regular. It looks more like a cardiogram because have some the peaks and the troughs are really are more strong or stronger. For example, the first feature is that the time series of deviations are choppy. That's what it means. Are not regular and it's really specific. The second is that the amplitude between peaks and troughs can represent, sometimes it's a large amplitude, sometimes it's smaller. The amplitude is smaller, so it's not always the same amplitude. And the third characteristic, or the third feature, is also with the frequency. That means the number of the troughs and the peaks is also not regular. We cannot say for example, in a year we will have this number of peaks and this number of troughs. No, we cannot say that because these are not regular. Can change a lot. It varies a lot. And the third question is, explain why forecasting GDP over the long term is difficult. Well, the reasons are the features we mentioned before. These irregularities make the predictions or the forecasting really difficult because sometimes we have a big amplitude, or we have a big boom, or sometimes we have a recession, a small recession, or a big recession. We cannot predict in the long term what is going to happen. In the short term is different because this feature about persistence makes the short term forecasting really easy. For example, if in this period of time the frequency is above trend, it will seal above, or instead is under trend, it will seal under trend. But in the long term, it's not sure. You cannot be really sure about this.